Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second week of the summer term. A friend of mine recently sent me a piece that he'd written for the New York Times about two octogenarian lovers, one German and the other Danish, who had been separated by the you-know-what situation. Ms. Rasmussen had to leave Mr. Hansen and return across the border to her home in Denmark, a 15-minute drive, just before it was closed, so that she wasn't separated from her Danish family during the lockdown. Both Miss Rasmussen and Mr. Hansen had been married for more than 60 years before their spouses died. But they found love again, quite unexpectedly, with each other when they met by chance in a queue to buy strawberries. For the time being, they can't be together. But that hasn't stopped them meeting, one on each side of the border every day at 3 p.m. to have a picnic and a chat. Ms. Rasmussen brings the cake, Mr. Hansen brings schnapps. The police have warned them not to cross the border, but they haven't done that. They just set up a table in the middle of it and sit 2 meters apart and talk for an hour every day. We already knew before COVID-19 came along that love can overcome most things, and that deep in our human nature is the drive to go on, to help each other, to put others before ourselves, and to fight for light to defeat darkness. And we see these things play out beautifully time and time again when bad things happen in the world, and this crisis is no different. That's why it's been so encouraging to see on the school Facebook and website and other media outlets about current and ex-pupils, support and teaching staff doing such selfless and creative things to help others at this time. The little nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and of love that represent the best of who we are as people and as Christians, and our great strength in times of trouble. One of our core school values is humility, valuing others above ourselves, acting out of love, celebrating others, which Will is going to reflect on now, and which will be our focus in Wednesday worship later in the week. In the meantime, I will leave you with a few lines from chapter 8 of the Song of Solomon, one of the books of the Old Testament, which draw our attention to the beauty and transformative power of love. Have a great week, everyone. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm.
For love is strong as death, passion fierce as the grave. Its flashes are flashes of fire, a raging flame. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can floods drown it. If one offered for love all the wealth of one's house, it would be utterly scorned.
So how do we celebrate others? How do we do it genuinely? How do we do it authentically? Well, to celebrate others, we need to know that we are loved, that we have an incredible worth. Because when we know we're loved, we feel secure. We don't feel threatened. And so we're able to genuinely celebrate those around us. Now, when I say loved, well, what do we mean by love? Well, I heard a quote the other day from a 6-year-old who said, love is when a boy puts on a bit of cologne and a girl puts on a bit of perfume and they go outside and they smell each other. Now, that may be love for you, but fortunately, God became man in the form of Jesus Christ, came to earth, and showed us what love truly is. Jesus said that there is no greater love than for a person to lay down his life for his friends. And that is exactly what he has done for each and every one of us. So we can know that we are well and truly loved, that God has this most incredible, unconditional love for us. And as we experience and step into that knowledge, we can be secure in who we are. We can know that we are enough. It's from that place that we can then truly celebrate others. So I'd love to encourage you just in this time now, as we reflect on this piece of music, which is going to use the words which the headmaster used in his piece of scripture, just to take a moment to close your eyes and to ask God a question. God, would you show me how much you love me today? And then perhaps as you come to the end of the piece of music, as you pray St. Benedict's prayer, to be thinking about who is one person that I could celebrate this week. It could be a teacher, could be a friend, could be a family member, could be someone you don't even know. But what could you do to lift somebody else up, to celebrate them, because you know that you are loved and you want to share that love with somebody else?